So, you don't have to know much about this story. We're only going to read a piece of it, and we're going to jump around, and we'll make it brief, okay? So, the only thing that you need to know is that this is one of those stories about some kind of a bad habit that adults have, and probably some young people do too, which is, for y'all adults, you ever been like completely fighting with somebody that you're dating, yeah? And instead of fucking dumping their ass, you like take an international trip with them? So, people are like, no, oh, look at you. You're like revisiting the experience. So if you're young and you haven't done it, you will. You will. Lesson will be learned. All right? So that's what this story is about. And we're only going to read a part of it. You know, as soon as someone has sand on their ass, wake up and clap. All right? It's called The Sun, the Moon, the Stars. I am not a bad guy. I know how that sounds. Defensive and unscrupulous, but it is true. I'm like everybody else, weak, full of mistakes, but basically good. Magdalena disagrees though. She considers me a typical Dominican man, a sucio, an asshole. Because you see, many months ago, when I didn't have to be careful about almost anything, when Magda was still my girlfriend, I cheated on her with this chick who had tons of 80s freestyle hair. I didn't tell Magda about it either. You know how that shit is. A smelly bone like that, better off buried in the backyard of your life. The only reason Magda found out was because homegirl wrote her a fucking letter. And that letter had details, shit you wouldn't even tell your boys drunk. The thing is that particular bit of stupidity had been over for months. By then, me and Magda were on an upswing. We weren't as distant as the winter when I was cheating. The freeze was over. She was coming over to my place, and instead of us hanging out with my knucklehead boys, we were seeing movies together, driving out different places to eat. We even caught a play at the Crossroads Theater, and I took her picture with some bigwig black playwrights, pictures where she is smiling so much that you would think her wide-ass mouth was going to unhinge. We were a couple again, visiting each other's families on the weekends, eating breakfast at diners, going to the library together. A nice rhythm we had going, but then the letter hits like a Star Trek grenade and detonates everything past, present, and future. And suddenly, her folks want to kill me. It does not matter that I help them with their taxes or that I mow their lawn. Her father, who used to treat me like his equal, calls me an asshole on the phone and sounds like he's strangling himself with the cord. I see one of Magda's girlfriends, Clarabelle, the Ecuatoriana with the biology degree and the chinita eyes, and she treats me like I ate someone's favorite fucking kid. You don't even want to know how it went down with Magda. It was like a 5-train collision. She threw Cassandra's letter at me and then sat down on the curb and started hyperventilating. Oh God, she wailed. Oh my God. This is when my boys claim they would have pulled a total fucking denial. Cassandra, who? But I was too sick to my stomach to even try that. I sat down next to her and grabbed her flailing arms and said some dumb shit like, "You have to listen to me, Magda, or you won't understand." All right, we get it. Yeah. So dumbass gets caught. Yeah. And they had this trip planned to go back to Santo Domingo before he gets bopped, right? And you know, whenever you're trying to get back with somebody, you're always like promising all sorts of wild shit, yeah? So he gets obsessed with this trip, and this is where we join them, all right? Some very serious faces. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I get stuck on the trip the way I do. Bringing up Santo Domingo every day, trying to get her to commit. Maybe I was getting tired of all the fighting, or maybe I had gotten this idea in my head that if Magda said, yes, we are going, then I know that shit would be fine between us. And if she said, no, it is not for me, at least I know that it was over. Her girlfriends, the sorest losers on the planet, advised her to take the trip and then never to speak to me again. She, of course, told me this shit because she couldn't stop herself from telling me everything that she was thinking. I asked her, how do you feel about that suggestion? And she said, it's an idea. Even my boys were like, nigga, it sounds like you are wasting your money on a whole lot of bullshit. But I really thought this trip would be good for us. Deep down where my boys don't know me, I am an optimist. And I thought, me and Magda in Santo Domingo, what could this not cure? Let me confess, I love Santo Domingo. I love coming home to the guys in the blazers trying to push little cups of Brugal into my hands. I love the plane landing, everybody clapping when the wheels kiss the runway. I love the fact that I'm the only nigga on board without a Cuban link or a flapjack of makeup on my face. I love the redhead woman on her way to meet the daughter that she has not seen in 11 years. The gifts she holds on her lap like the bones of a saint. Mi hija has tetas now, the woman whispers. The last time I saw her, she could not speak in sentences, and now she is a woman. Imagínate. I love the bags that my mother packs. Shit for relatives and something for Magda. A gift. You give this to her, my mother says, no matter what happens. If this was another kind of story, I would tell you about the sea. What it looks like after it's been forced into the sky through a blowhole, and how when I'm driving in from the airport and see it like this, like shredded silver, I know that I am back for real. And I would tell you about how many poor motherfuckers there are. More cross-eyed niggers, more tigres, more albinos than you'll ever see. And I would tell you about the traffic, the entire history of late 20th century automobiles swarming across every stretch of ground, a cosmology of battered cars, battered motorcycles, battered trucks, and battered buses, and an equal number of repair shops run by any fool with a wrench. And I would tell you about our shanties and our no running water faucets and the Sambos on the billboard and the fact that my house comes equipped with the ever reliable latrine. And I would tell you about my abuelo and his campo hands and how unhappy he is that I'm not sticking around for longer. And I would tell you about the street where I was born, Calle 21, how it hasn't decided yet if it wants to be a slum or not, and how it's been in this state of indecision for years. But this would make this another kind of story, and I am having enough trouble with this one as it is. You're gonna have to take my word for it. Santo Domingo is Santo Domingo. Let's pretend we all know what goes on there.